Hello, I'm Roger Bisby from the Skill Builder channel. Today I'm going to take you through what you can do if you've got a front door lock that isn't working. Now this is a Euro cylinder, a particular lock, but this door is a composite door. It's fairly new and it's in my daughter's house, and quite honestly it's been a real pain. It cost over £1,000 and there have been all kinds of problems with it. So it's not great, but the latest problem they had is that they couldn't operate this door from the inside. They could use it outside with the key, but when they came inside and they tried to open it, it wouldn't work. And sometimes they found that it was worse in the really cold weather. So when we had that big freeze up a few weeks ago, they just couldn't work it, and then once it got slightly milder it started working again. So what was going on there? I thought I'm going to need to investigate. Now I'm not a locksmith, but I pride myself on being able to work out most things except nuclear physics. So let me just show you what happens. I fixed it now so you can see what happens. This operates the multi-point locking mechanism on it, so you can hear that working perfectly well, but before it wouldn't do that. So the first thing I want to show you is it's a British standard lock. You can see what it does. It throws the bolt all the way over, and then you can go around once more and it deadlocks it so that it can't be sprung open. So it's a good lock, but you could just replace one of these. You can get them from Screwfix, Toolstation, all sorts of places for as little as £18. But this one has got security keys which are a bit more expensive. The set of keys for this cost £100, so they were very reluctant to abandon it and just go and buy a cheapo lock. So you can see what's happening when the key's in. It's operating the inner and the outer. When we take the key out, it doesn't turn the outside one at all. So it's disconnected from it. How does that happen? So the first thing we've got to do is take this thumb throw off here. Not all locks have this. Some have a key both sides, which is more secure, because if anybody breaks in and they want to escape with your valuables, they want to do it by leaving through the front door. If you've got a key and you've taken the keys away, they can't do that. Now you just got to take this off, this little handle, and be careful not to lose this little grub screw. It's got to come all the way out, unfortunately, on this. I'm just going to pop it back in for safekeeping. We'll just put it in there so we don't lose it. So it doesn't matter how much you pay for these locks, they're all basically the same design, but this one, rather than having a big bit on the outside that can be wrenched off, it has this nice escutcheon on it to stop anybody from getting some grips on it. So there's the machine screw that goes in, and that holds the lock, the cylinder, in place. So if I use the key, I should be able to get that out. You might have to just fiddle this slightly, but they come out. There you go. I've greased this one up now, and it's very important that you don't use the wrong grease on it, because if you use something like WD-40, that's fine, it will get it working, but you'll also find that it attracts dirt. So if you've got something on your key, it's been in your pocket, very soon you'll find that the debris will build up inside there. So what I've used here is a PTFE grease that is made for locks, but you can use graphite. That's the other thing, which is basically just like pencil lead. But you can see what's happening with it. That mechanism there throws the bolt backwards and forwards, so it flicks it round and then it'll flick it back. Now if you look inside that tiny little hole, you'll see that when I take this out, the key out, a little pin slides across, which allows you to operate this lock from the inside. And if that pin doesn't come across, you won't be able to turn this lock. You can see that it's stopped now. That is because that pin is not engaging fully. When we do that, it pushes the pin out the way, and when we take that out, the pin should just drop back into place, and you can see now that we can turn that. But if that pin doesn't drop in, and it's only a tiny pin with a small spring, almost like a watch mechanism, and if that pin doesn't drop back in, you can't operate this. So that's all it was. It could be that there was a little bit of moisture getting in through there in the night and the thing was freezing, the moisture was sticking in there and stopping it, which is why they thought it was happening more in the cold weather. I can still feel it's just a little bit stiff, but what happens with this key, I'll just show you just for the academic interest. All those little dents there operate these pins, and each one of these pins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all have to go in there, and they'll all pop up, and when they pop up, you can then turn the lock. Once you get a bit of debris in these locks, you're really on a hiding to nothing. They're too much of a fine mechanism to cope with any kind of dust and dirt. So as an initial thing, without taking the lock apart, you can try just squirting a bit of, this is a PTFE, you can try squirting that down into the lock, but if it doesn't reach that pin there, then it's no good at all. But you can see what I'm doing, just put a little bit of dry PTFE in there. So this is a lubricant, a bit like WD-40, but it doesn't have the silicone in it, it's got PTFE in it, and it's made for locks and all sorts of things like that. The other thing that you can use is a little bit of graphite powder, but again, you've got to make sure you don't clog up that little pin there. You can see the spring there, and if we put the key in, and it pushes that spring away, it basically pushes that handle out. Turn it so that the little lever is there. That's the only way it's going to go back in, which is why you can't pull it out when it's locked, because that will be in a different position. So you just have to fiddle these, because if it's not 100% drilled 90 degrees, you will just find you have to work your way through. You can see the line there. I'm going to bring it up on the inside, and then there you go. We feel the screw going, and again you could just put a little bit of lubricant on the end of the screw, just help it go in, and then you can just feel your way. And don't get this cross-threaded, it's a fine thread, so you don't want to be forcing it. If it doesn't turn easily, then you've got it cross-threaded. So if you get it cross-threaded, you probably need to buy a new lock. So that's it, that's tight enough, it'll hold there. Now we should be able to take the key out. There you go. The key comes out. Just going to stick a little bit more in there because it just feels a bit dry. First thing to try, before you do anything, try a little bit of that. Maybe even get the vacuum cleaner on the lock before you do that, just to see if you can suck out any debris, because you get the tiniest bit of dirt in there and it will stop it operating properly. So there we go, operating nicely. Tiny bit of lube on there. Okay, you can see that operating there. Before I put the handle back on, we'll do a little test. I'll just use an Allen screw there. We'll take the key out, and that little slide should have now dropped back in place so that this operates the lock. In that position there, it's just operating this slam lock. So probably throughout the day you would just leave it operating the slam lock. But when you are in bed at night, you could just give it another turn and it brings the deadlock into place. And that means nobody can get in just by putting a knife in there and pushing that, because that would be a very easy thing. If you've got the lock in this position, somebody comes along with a knife and they're in. So very important, when you go out, when you leave the house, you double lock from the outside with your key. When you go to bed at night, double lock, and then you'll make sure that you're safe. Now all I've got to do is put the handle back in place. You may find these little grub screws are of different size. This one is a 2mm, which is very small, but you can get a set of Allen keys. If you don't have any Allen keys, they're very cheap to go and buy a complete set so that you've got all the different sizes on there, because trying to work out what size you need is sometimes a problem. We don't need to over tighten that, but we don't want it dropping out. Deadlock, operating there, round to there. So the last thing is, even though this is my daughter's house and I'm not charging her for this job, naturally she would still have a go at me if I left greasy marks all over her door. So just give it a little clean up everywhere, and That's it. That could save you £100, £150 getting a locksmith out, just for a very, very simple bit of maintenance. And that doesn't mean the troubles are over. That probably is going to need a bit more lubricant in a couple of years' time. I'm Roger Bisby. Come back and see me soon on Skill Builder. Maybe we're going to tackle a few more of these, like window catches and things like that, because, you know, double glazing is a wonderful thing, but there are an awful lot of little niggling problems that people can't get sorted out.